Welcome, fellow babies, to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We hope you're watching this real time and you're getting it on the SIFTD network. You're getting it as a Patreon patron. You have linked your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. You can get it through Twitch. If you're watching a week late on YouTube, that's because you can't get your act together to keep Shane in production dollars so he can keep making this show. I'm getting nothing out of it, but we appreciate your patronage. If you can be a Patreon patron, please do so. If you are an Amazon Prime member, and there's only 200 million of those, so odds are you are one, try to link your Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We can get paid. You can subscribe through YouTube as well. Plenty of ways to help us out. And if not, you're getting it a week late. We ask at a minimum you follow Shane on Twitter at Dinfire. Follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. Let's get to today's question from Sifted from Toast9. What is your take on the Rosen Law investor class action lawsuit against CD Projekt RED? How vulnerable do you think CD Projekt RED is to this lawsuit? How vulnerable is the developer in general after the Cyberpunk 2077 fiasco? Class action for a stock going down. The reason that stocks go up in front of a game launch is because investors have expectations that the product that the company sells is going to perform very well. I'm not sure that CD Projekt's management promised anything. I don't cover the company, so I'm not aware though, but I cover a lot of video game publishers. If anything, publishers tend to be conservative. And they tend to say, so Activision makes Call of Duty every year. They tend to say, our guidance includes an assumption that Call of Duty sales will be down year over year. And they say this almost every year. They don't say how much. They just say down year over year. And if sales are down, no one can sue them because they told you. And if Activision normally sells 20 million copies of Call of Duty and they say down year over year, and they make a bad game and it sells 10, nobody's going to sue them. Because they don't predict success. And so here you get CD Projekt. I think their last game was Witcher 3. I want to say 2015, something like that. It's been a good 5 years since, and I know they put out Gwent, but it's been a good 5 years since they put out a real game. Now, Witcher, they made 1, 2, and 3. So I think in this company's history, they've made 3 games that have been successful. Not enough of a track record. It's sort of like Rockstar putting out Bully. Do you expect Bully to sell 120 million units the way GTA did? No. But if there are some clowns that I compete with who cover Take-Two, who probably have the next Rockstar game in their model at 50 million. And I remember when Red Dead Redemption was coming out, I literally had an investor ask me when Red Dead Redemption was about to launch, do you think it'll sell 40 million? And I said, over what period of time? And the guy said, this quarter. The game was coming out in November, and he's like, is it going to sell 40 million in the first 6 weeks? And I said, not a prayer. And he goes, what do you think? And I said, 18 million this quarter, 24 by the end of March, which is their fiscal year. I was wrong. It sold 23 million by the end of March. And I was wrong on the 18. I think it was 20, but that's because Take-Two shipped more copies than there was demand, and then the reorders were only 3. So I don't think it's at 40 yet. It might be, but it's really close, but it's been out a couple of years. So the answer to the question is, I think a lawsuit against the company can only succeed if, for shareholders, if you can find what they call a smoking gun, where the management said, Cyberpunk will get a 95 Metacritic score and will sell 50 million copies. And then it sells 15 and they miss their numbers. I don't cover them. They are Polish. I believe their earnings calls are held in Polish. I have never tried to find a transcript or, translate what they said, but it would be extraordinarily unusual if they guaranteed investors they would sell a certain number of units and then failed. So are investors at fault for making their own assumptions? Yes. I remember when Reed Hastings at Netflix said, our stock just crossed 100. I'm never going to talk about our stock again. I don't understand the stock market. I have no idea how people determine what we're worth, and don't ask me, ask the analysts. And the stock's at 500. So that's the right approach, right? Elon Musk, I think, God, for 80% ago, said he thought Tesla was getting overvalued or something. I mean, again, management doesn't know what the share is supposed to be worth. They tend to say, look, we're going to make the best game we can make, and we expect it to be great. And then if it's not, what do you do? I mean, I remember when Disney put out a movie called John Carter, and John Carter only did 250 million at box office, but investors thought it would do 500. And people were threatening to sue Disney because the stock went down on that. They've done pretty well since. Stock's up more than doubled. So no, I think this lawsuit is stupid. I think that it is a loser. I think Rosen Law Firm will settle with the company for $1, $2 per share paid out that they can keep 20% of, and people who join the class will get it. I get these class action solicitations all the time because I buy products that are subject to that. I got one recently that was and I think I actually did opt into the lawsuit. It was Verizon Internet. I had Fios. They sold to Frontier. And I remember it said, you won $1.15. And so here's how to claim your $1.15. I remember I got one from Levi's Jeans. God knows how they found me, but apparently I bought some Levi's, and we're talking like in the 2000s. And it asked me to fill out a form in 2005 or 6. How many pairs of Levi's jeans do you buy? And I said something like 10, and in 10 years. And they sent me a coupon for $1.47 off of my next pair of Levi's jeans. And of course I tossed it, and I don't wear Levi's, and I didn't care, but the law firm got paid. So the answer to these class actions is these guys are bottom feeders. They are trying to bring a lawsuit, get everybody excited, scare the company with the law of large numbers that there's 20 million investors suing, and then the law firm will make $5 or $10 million and investors will get nothing. So I think that's stupid. How vulnerable is the developer in general? Look, their stock goes up, their stock goes down. I mean, it doesn't hurt them at all. They aren't going to lose money on Cyberpunk. I mean, regardless of how we think it did, at least 10 million people who bought it aren't returning it. Eventually the patches will work. My understanding is that the Google Stadia version works flawlessly. So, must work pretty well on PC. Again, I don't know. I heard the biggest problems were PlayStation 5, and then I'm not sure if it was as bad on Xbox Series X. People who want their money back got their money back. They probably made $500 or $600 million on the game. They probably are gonna, spend that much on marketing and software patches and stuff, and they're gonna come back to around break even. Even if they don't make money on the game, they're still making money on Witcher and Gwent, and they'll have other games, and probably eventually re-release Cyberpunk, and it'll work. The game concept is great, so clearly that game will have legs if they ever get it right. And I don't think the bad taste is that bad if it works on PS5. If the patches made it work, it'll sell a couple million units a year for the next 5 years. So they're going to make money on the thing. So I don't think they're in trouble at all. And as far as the lawsuit, they're just going to settle it, and lawyers are going to get rich, and everybody else is going to get $1, and it's stupid and a waste of everybody's time. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor. If you are watching real time because you're a Patreon patron, thank you so much. If you have linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account and we're getting paid from Amazon, free to you, thank you so much. If you are subscribing through YouTube, thank you so much. If you're a freeloader watching this a week late, please understand that the only reason Shane does this is because I don't get paid and I want people to have access to this. But at a minimum, you must follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter, follow Shane at Dinfire, follow SIFTD at SIFTD Games. That's it. Pachter out.